So, animations, like films, are not fluid movement. They're a series of still images, or frames, played in quick succession to create the illusion of motion. Typically, animators will work in 24, 25 or 30 frames a second. Blender defaults to 24. Should you need to change this setting, it can be found in the render properties. So, if an animation is made up of frames, what's a keyframe? Essentially, a keyframe is a frame that is key to our animation, a pivotal point in the motion that we're creating. So your first two keyframes will be at the start and end of your shot. You then start adding in keys wherever the motion makes a major change. For instance, turning a corner. In traditional animation, once the keyframes were added, then an assistant artist would come in to draw the frames in between each of these keys. This is often referred to as tweening. Fortunately, Blender does a lot of this heavy lifting for us by interpolation, or, filling in between the frames. This is wonderfully powerful, however, it's not always the most intelligent process, and more often than not requires you to finesse and direct the movement of the interpolation. Don't worry, we'll be tackling this in detail further down the line. Blender has many ways of adding and manipulating keys. Firstly, we can find the property we wish to keyframe and right-click, then choose Insert Keyframes or Insert Single Key. The former will add keys to all the parameters in that property. For instance, in the location property, it will add a key to the X, Y, and Z. The latter will add a key to the individual parameter, in this case, the Y location. You can hit I whilst mousing over any property, or if you hit I with the mouse over the viewport, the dope sheet, or the graph editor, then a menu of keyframeable options will pop up. Pick the one you want to keyframe, and voila! If you want to avoid having to constantly reselect the same properties, keying sets can be pretty useful. Keying sets allow us to predefine where Blender adds keys, meaning we don't have to keep selecting the location every time we move the cube. We just select the location keying set and hit I, move, and hit I, move, and hit I. You get the picture. In Blender, if we want to delete a key, we just hit X. To move a key, we can just grab it and drag it around in the dope sheet or graph editors. To adjust the value, simply move the playhead over the keyframe you want to change, edit the object, and add a keyframe again. Blender will overwrite the old data with the new. The universal hotkeys G to move, S to scale, and R to rotate also work wherever there are enough axes to support them. For instance, the dope sheet only has a single dimension, so you can move items back and forth, and you can hit S to scale the distance between keys relative to the position of the playhead. Whereas on the graph editor, you can hit G and then X to move constraint to the X-axis, or G and then Y to constraint to the Y-axis. You can scale and rotate, and you can even adjust where Blender pivots and scales from. So there you have it. Keys are powerful things, and once you've got your keys, that's half the battle. Keys tell your story and reveal character. It's in the keys that you really get to work on your character's posing, and it's through these poses that we reveal the truth of who our characters are. So you get your keys straight before you start worrying about how you move between them.